Evening, and welcome to our meeting. The January 16th, 2019 meeting of the Conservation Commission is called to order. So, first we are going to vote some minutes. Minutes of October 31, 2018.
I have a comment.
I wasn't here.
Yes, Betsy.
Who wasn't here? Oh, you weren't here.
Susan.
You weren't here.
That's not a window.
Well, anyway, on page 5, we were talking about jetties. You had brought something up about jetties, and I pointed out something about the Army Corps jetties at the end of the canal. And so where it first says Ms. Gladfelter, I said Sandwich has been putting millions of dollars worth of sand to save their beaches, and it's getting washed away. On the other side, Sagamore Beach has gone out about 3/4 of a mile. So I'm just adding on the Sagamore side.
Okay.
All right, anything else?
Move to accept as amended.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, unanimous, so moved. Minutes of December 12, 2018.
I read it, and I move to accept.
Second.
All right, any other comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, unanimous, so moved. And minutes of January 9, 2019. I read these. I have one word to change on the last page where we were talking about this scheduled meeting for January 26th. And it says that I said, I think in the case of large development projects, most boards are aware of conservation regulations, and actually what I said was most applicants are aware.
Okay.
So do you want me to pass that in? Yeah, might as well.
I'll add
Okay.
these. So I move that we pass it.
Second.
All right, anything else?
Thank you, Ben.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, unanimous, so moved. All right, moving on to continued requests for determination of applicability. John Noonan, 17 Meadow Neck.
I'm sorry, Madam Chairman, that is request for continuance for determination of applicability.
Yeah, okay. Both of these?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So do you have a date?
January 30th for 17 Meadow Neck, and 38 Deer Run is February 6th.
Okay, I think we need to vote
At-
separately.
Yeah.
Thank you, though.
I move that we
Continued.
continue John Noonan, 17 Meadow Neck Road to January 30th.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, unanimous, so moved.
And continue 38 Deer Run Lane to February 6th, 2019.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, unanimous, so moved. All right, request for determination of applicability. We just did that, those two. Request for hearings under a notice of intent. Michael Jones, trustee, 65 Shady Lane, East Falmouth, for permission to construct an addition, build 2 patios, install dry wells, upgrade septic system, plant native shrubs as mitigation, and all associated excavating, grading, and landscaping.
Do you want to read that?
Oh, yes. Before I give you the floor, Tom, all hearings of the Falmouth Conservation Commission are held simultaneously under the authorities of the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act and the Falmouth Wetlands Bylaw. Although a single decision of the commission is issued, it represents a separate decision under each authority. Good evening, Tom.
Good evening. That was the best reception I've gotten in a while.
Well, you are our special guest tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
The audience is a little thin, though. But we'll
Big
make up
TV
for it.
audience,
You
I'm
should
sure.
see the TV audience.
We might even hit double digits.
The TV star now.
So, thank you. Good to see you all tonight. I'm Tom Bunker with BSS Design, representing Michael Jones at 65 Shady Lane. This is on the, Shady Lane is, oh, let's see. All plans there. Actually, I have two plans here. The first from the state GIS shows the priority habitat, so right where it's, shows 221. This is Crooked Pond, and you see the house in here with the little thumbtack, and this zigzag yellow line is the priority habitat. Next on the town GIS, the zone 2 of a public well cuts through part of the property and actually includes part of the pond. And so being a freshwater body in a zone 2 of a public water supply, the bordering wetland has a 100-foot zone A. These other two lines, represent basically the town jurisdiction over this land. But so I have here on our site plan, Crooked Pond. This zone A line running through here is a 75-foot buffer zone to a water body. And then, of course, it goes another 25 feet to this B line. But the 100-foot line out here, the A, this is 100 feet from the BVW surrounding the pond in the zone 2. So you have the zone 2 line across here. Most of the lot is not in the zone 2, but the pond is. So we have this house here. Been there a while, since the 60s. Garage, paved driveway, the house here, have to go to the Board of Appeals because it's less than 50 feet to the pond in this location. I can show you this area on the north side of the house is being removed, part of this patio, or all of this patio, and this part of the structure in this location, and then there's some other concrete and a shower and all up in this location here is all being removed. And this soil absorption system for the septic system is being removed, or at least decommissioned. I'm not sure the tie card we got is correct, because it's probably not directly under that tree. But anyway, there's you see from the next plan, we're not going to I have the limit of work on here, and so the intent is to keep this tree here also. The limit of work goes around one tree, which shows that SAS is in this location, and the intent is to not disturb this tree either, and you could put a condition to that effect here. I have crosshatch. This is the patio that's coming out here. And the blue is a new patio, This area right here is part of this building that came off. They're going to rebuild that part and then go further out along the garage. So this is all addition here. New septic system going here, well over, let's say, 140 feet from the pond. And dry wells will be up in this location. They dig out the septic system, put in dry wells, or possibly use some of the old SAS if it's usable for this application. So there are no, I don't know if I can get to that. Let me show you a couple of pictures here. This is the area here where the septic system will go. In this lawn area here, there's no vegetation other than lawn. And you get to the next there. This is the existing patio and the part of the house that will come off, and that's going to be rebuilt as part of the new addition. And this is the area, this other stuff, the shower and some concrete and all that will be coming out, and the addition will be on this lawn area. So see, there's, for the addition and for the septic, there's no vegetation to be harmed in the production of this addition. And there is a total increase of coverage because of the patio coming out, and most of the addition is beyond jurisdiction. Increase of coverage of 27 square feet. And it's in Zone A, which will require 3-to-1 mitigation. And so that's 88 square feet down in this location right here. That is the proposal. I'll take any of your questions.
Thank you, Tom. Yes, Jim?
Tom, I like the touch with the pictures, that was very helpful, thank you. But because now they're part of the public record, so if you could just send us over hard
Yeah.
copies of the pictures, that would be great.
Of course.
Okay, thank you. But it was very helpful, thank you. Just, do you have, I didn't see it in the proposal, maybe I missed it. What kind of plants are you gonna put in? Or are you gonna leave it up to us to?
I just have a generic suggested plants
got
of
it,
hybrid
sorry.
blueberry, viburnum, dentatum, nudum, summer sweet. Typical, like,
Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's it. My only, Brendan, okay.
All right, thanks, Jen. No problem. Kevin?
Minor comment, are you relocating the shower, or?
there wasn't any on there. I can tell you that if, and you could certainly condition it, that if they were to do one, it would be outside, beyond the Zone A. There was no shower on the architectural plan.
Okay.
That's it?
That's it.
Maury?
I just had a couple questions. Nice to see the upgrade, beautiful piece of property.
Mm.
Yeah. The one concern I have is on your plan, you show the little hash marks on the Crooked Pond side, which is usually the vegetation line. And going out there today, there's actually no vegetation on the entire coastal bank except for trees. So, and it looks very mowed and manicured. So I don't know when that site, you did the site work, but.
Well, that's our line. It's not in the legend. I mean, that's our line for lawn.
Oh.
And I know that there and over, it's, pine needly and stuff. It's not lawn, but it's not a lot of shrubbery.
There's nothing. I don't know when you were out there last, but it's nothing. It's gone.
It was,
So, you have this little, native shrub planting, and when I first looked at the plan, I'm like, oh, good, well, that's the closest to the pond, and, looking at your little hash marks of where the lawn stops and vegetation starts, looked very promising until I went out there. And it looks like it was almost mowed, to be honest. I mean, there are a couple little, yeah, there you go. So, I don't know, again, do we put a fence up there? This is Crooked Pond. It's probably it has the most endangered species, I think, of any pond we have in
Yes,
Falmouth.
it does.
It's probably designated the most significant. So, that being the case, it doesn't look like they're huge fertilized people or,
No.
crazy shrubbery or anything else. But either a fence goes up there to let them know that they can't continue to mow that, because they've already got the sluiceway where their little paddle boat is, so that the runoff goes down into the pond. So maybe that, you could put something there, more of a berm, or, just a little swale or something, so it doesn't shoot down. You can see it gets erosion. So, that was number one. Number two, as far as using the old SAS for the dry wells, I'm personally not for that, because those are designed for 330 gallons a day, and you can get a storm that is way more significant than 330 gallons a day. So then you're just pushing the old effluent that's in there
yeah.
out, so I'd rather see the dry wells
Yeah, that could
incorporated. And the other thing is, I think the dry wells should be moved further toward the property line, because that oak, you're less than, almost 5 feet, kind of, but that's, when you excavate around it's not surgical for that dry well, so you're gonna be in the roots of that beautiful oak. They can be moved to the left, to the right, they can go somewhere, and they can go to the north. They can go anywhere except right next to that tree. Because I really think it'll compromise.
They should be X number of feet away from
Yeah.
any of the trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff. There's another white pine beyond that that's,
Well, then,
Why can't one go?
why can't you go, yeah. Closer to the corner of the, I mean, right where that, I know you have your line going from the D box to the tank,
Just below
but
that
just
line.
below that, or, I mean, you have them both right next to each other. Maybe one could go by the proposed bedroom addition where it says 23.
Well, we have to be 25 feet from the SAS with a dry
With a
well.
drywall, you're right.
I mean, they could run a pipe between the pine and that other tree and out into, even that, it's tough finding land that's
Suitable.
25 feet from the SAS, and, I mean, I could put the two dry wells together, just move it away from that tree and
Yeah.
concentrate
It's
two
only
together.
5 feet, so that's not
Yeah.
much for a big oak's
Yeah.
root system. And, let's see, I think that was all I had, thank you.
Thanks, Maureen. Betsy?
Nope, my questions were covered.
Good. Jamie?
On the dry well note, can you just do a bigger tank?
Yeah, I can either put two together or put in just a larger one that would take up less
That's all I have, thank you.
space.
I just had a question about the AC unit that's in the front. Is there any way that could be, I don't know what systems are involved, but I assume there's some upgrading for the addition? Whether that could be moved?
I had thought about that, and if they are gonna have a major upgrade to the AC, I would tell them that they should move it out of jurisdiction as
Right.
back as far as possible.
Okay.
I'm not sure how much of a change they'll make to AC. I mean, it doesn't look like old equipment that they have there.
Uh-huh.
I know it's under a cover right now,
Right.
but I'll talk to them about if they are gonna add anything, they can't add it there, and they should
Yeah.
move it all away if possible.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's all.
Okay. Peter?
One of the trees that's going to be most impacted by the new septic system, could you explain the logic on that?
On what?
One of the trees, it says maybe it will have to be taken down or
Oh,
something? The 18-inch?
That one.
That was as far as abandoning the existing septic system. Because like I said, I'm not positive. We drew this existing SAS in. It wouldn't have to be if they pull out units or however they tend to abandon it. It wouldn't have to be damaged if they don't have to remove all of the components of that. If it was getting close, let's say, they could just stop and not damage that tree. But if they, if they find that the SAS is in a different location than what we've shown, then maybe they can take the whole thing out or, crush it and fill it. Maybe it won't be right by that tree. So there's a little bit of unknown about exactly where that is. But I think that was the only thing I said about possibly damaging that tree, is I don't know exactly where that is, and I'm not sure exactly how that will be abandoned. But, you can certainly make a point that tell anybody that shouldn't be damaged, that tree shouldn't be damaged. I'm just saying that because it's right there under that, very near that SAS, that it might possibly be damaged.
Okay, no further questions?
Thanks, Peter. Mark?
No
Nothing.
questions.
All right.
I'll move to close the hearing to.
Could I ask before you do that, what,
Yes. You want to go over your list?
well, I was wondering, what we should do about, let's say you're gonna move to close it. If it'd be closed, would you want a plan with a couple of changes before voting it?
What changes, you want to see the
Well,
dry
it
wells
seems like
moved,
they're-
correct?
Excuse me?
The dry wells are going to be moved, correct?
Dry wells and something
AC
about
question?
planting along the top of the bank or something about, along the edge of the pond. And I was
Correct,
just,
so
Would you like a continuance?
we can do a continuance.
well, not really.
Can't we just condition that, the split rail fence goes on the top of the coastal bank and there's no more disturbance beyond it?
Yeah.
I mean, I think if they just leave it alone, it'll grow
It'll be
back.
fine.
Yeah, it'll go
Okay.
back.
That's fine,
Because-
and then just submit a revised plan with the drywalls as soon as you can. Right?
Invasives on it. Yeah, because invasives could come in.
Yeah, because actually, I didn't even see any invasives on the neighboring properties, which was amazing.
Didn't see what?
Any invasives?
Oh, invasive, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, stuff will come in, but
Yeah.
they
They
should
should
probably
probably-
monitor it, that, I mean, you know that.
Oh,
yeah.
definitely.
Bittersweet and grape and all that lovely stuff. But,
At least they probably don't have porcelain berry. That seems to
I didn't
be
see it.
along Buzzards Bay mostly.
yeah, it was funny, I didn't see any of that, any of our lovely ones.
Swallowwort.
No swallowwort.
No, but I mean, there's swallowwort in the area.
Guys, do you want a continuance, or do you want to just have him submit a revised plan?
I'm
think a
comfortable with
revised-
with the
Right.
So
latter.
am I.
Okay.
Because we trust you.
And we'll give some, suggestions about
Ways our guests are on.
addressing. So, yeah. So did somebody make the motion? You made the motion, I'll
Yes,
second it.
Amy made motion to close it.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other comments? Mark, you know? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous, so moved.
Thank you.
Tom, submit 3 copies of the revised plan. I don't know if you saw that note, that now we're requiring 3 copies of revised plans.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
And the photos.
Yes.
And the vote,
Please, thank you.
Excellent. All right.
Lovely job.
Now, continued hearing under a notice of intent, Clues Easterly Limited Partnership, 146 Knobska Road, Woods Hole, for permission to reconstruct the existing licensed timber pier. This is the one we heard last week. We left it open simply because we didn't know if the applicant was going to agree to a condition that there not be any, it's not a boat pier and there won't be any
Correct.
boats tied up.
And we needed a DEP number. We
That's
received
right.
the DEP number the next day, and the email I received from Tim Santos yesterday, the applicant has agreed to condition
Hi, Tom.
to a condition.
Right.
The approval, night, Tom, not to moor any boats on the pier.
Right.
So it's
So-
part of the record, and we can condition it, that they've
Okay.
agreed to that.
Okay, so I will make a motion to close the hearing and take it under advisement.
Second.
All right.
I wasn't here, but I just had one question. Were there letters from them, from the abutters?
Yes.
Okay, that's all. That
There-
was
Oh,
all.
I
yeah,
mean, I
for
asked
the
that question.
access?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yes.
asked that question and they had
Yeah.
email
Okay,
permission
perfect,
from
that's
everybody.
All right, all those in favor, say aye.
All right.
Opposed, unanimous, so moved. Great. Right. Now, orders of conditions. Charles and Wendy Crane, 26 Juniper Point Road, Woods Hole.
This was a water service.
Fire hydrant going.
All right, right. It was actually a resubmission of an NOI where we had given an order of conditions, and, you know, there was a reallocation of the property among some people. So anyway, the order of conditions expired before they were able to do the work, so they had to resubmit. So it's not really, you know, it's
Can we
not.
just have the same conditions?
Yeah, I would think we could just duplicate it, right?
Correct.
Okay.
I so move that we close the hearing and take it
Such a
under
small
advisement.
No, we were adopting an
Oh,
order of conditions.
That we adopt it as
Good one, Beth.
discussed.
Second.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, unanimous, so moved. And finally, 350, Robert and Emily Irving, 358 Acapesket Road, East Falmouth.
Doc?
This is, they came back in, they made a T rather than
yeah.
a,
Right.
There was an existing pier, they're lengthening it. They came back with the T, put the mooring field on, and I believe the profile meets the current guidance from DML.
correct.
Yes, it was, I think it was changed to that, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. revised profile, change L to T, and add plantings and mooring field.
Yeah, I don't think we
Yeah.
had,
Yeah, it was pretty straightforward. All right.
So
Anything else?
move that we accept as discussed.
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous, so moved. Our final motion of the evening.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. So moved.
Whoa!